Hey everybody, Seth with Everyman Prepping here. How's everybody doing on this day before the 4th of July, the big day we celebrate our freedoms, maybe look back on some of the freedoms that we've let go and we may need to get back. But tomorrow's a great day to celebrate, friends, family, parades and all that. If you are going out and you're going to be in large crowds, always keep that head on a swivel. Stay alert, stay alive, all that great stuff. If you're doing fireworks, please be, careful, safety with the kids around, all that stuff, fire extinguishers. Let's not set anything on fire, burn the house, hillside, forest down, all that great stuff. Let's make sure we're all going to have a great holiday tomorrow. And as we get into that holiday, let's look at a few news stories, some alerts I have that we want to pay attention to in this time of freedom or lack thereof. As we get into these, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you've come by and haven't joined yet, or if you're brand new, hit that subscribe button, alert. Comment down below anything you want. Wish everybody happy 4th of July, all that great stuff. But let's continue on here. We're going to start with domestic issues first, some things I want to talk about. And of course, everybody's talking about Biden. Is he going to go? Is he going to stay? Who's turning on him? Who's supporting him? What does Trump want? Latest video on Trump on a golf cart. He's saying he got him out. Kamala's going to take his place. I don't know if you need to pay attention to all that. I think it's a giant distraction going on right now. My opinion really doesn't matter. If you're a Trump supporter, yeah, you want Biden to stay. You don't want him to go. You see Trump supporters out there saying, oh, Biden and dementia this, got to go, get him out. He's the weakest person. Why would you want him out? You'd want him to stay. Like I said, if you're on the Trump camp, you want Biden to stay there. It'd be your easiest opponent to go against. If you're a Biden supporter, maybe you want him to stay, or if you're a hardcore Democrat, progressive, maybe you want him out. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it matters what the path we're on anyway, but I see it as a giant distraction. You see the news everywhere. I wouldn't pay too much attention to whether he stays or goes or anything. We still got a long ways to go before that election, even if we, at this point, have an election or have a fair election at this point. But we shall see. Moving on from that, we have the hurricane. This is very important. This is very serious. More serious than the Biden thing before. So it looks like, it's plowed through a couple islands in the Caribbean. It's going through Jamaica right now. It's devastating a lot of stuff. Looks like, as you can see here from the map, it's going to plow through the Yucatan Peninsula here through Mexico. Going to still go on as a tropical storm. It's going to become a hurricane again right before it hits shore. It's going to hit the northeast part of Mexico or the southeastern part of Texas. So if you're in this part of Texas, or anywhere down here, but if you're watching, you're part of Texas, people in Texas, get that warning out to them. They should be prepped already. If they're not, get that hurricane prep stuff going. Expect power outages, floods, wind damage, whatever. Make sure your pets are safe. Do all the stuff you need to do. Make sure you have the stuff secured so when it's over, you can have your power generation, your solar panels, your generator, whatever you're using, is protected from water and wind and all that. It's not going to disappear or get flooded. Make sure your food is secure. All that great stuff. Your backup plan's ready to go. So if you're in this area, just get ready because it looks like it's coming for you right at you. So that's why we do the things we do. So when these natural disasters occur, we're ready to go and help yourself, your family, and your neighbors. Moving on from that, we have this. 2 injured, 1 missing after explosion at an Arkansas defense weapon plant. So we had that plant, I think it was Pennsylvania. They make 155 millimeter artillery shells. That caught on fire. Now we have this plant in Arkansas. It says here at least 2 people were injured and 1's missing. Hopefully they find that 1 missing person. There was an explosion there. We see all kinds of reports of sabotage, plants catching on fire in Moscow and Russia, weapons plants, engineering plants, going up in flames. Looks like we're starting to get that here. This was a General Dynamics Ordnance and Tactical Systems plant in Camden, 86 miles south of Little Rock. What do you know? They make Hellfire and Javelin missiles. Where do Hellfire and Javelin missiles go right now? Ukraine. Is it not a coincidence that maybe this plant caught on fire? Probably not. So if you work in the defense industry, you make sure that you got your head on a swivel at all times. But, if you see something strange at the workplace, hey, call it out, do whatever you got to do. But if you work at an ammunition plant, weapons facility, training, engineering, it's time to stay very vigilant while you're at the job. Moving on from that, what do we have? Oh, found this quite interesting. So in California, high crime, super woke, progressive state out there. What do we have? In San Jose, California, a company is hiring security guards to protect convenience store deliveries. And, it says like they're trading in $100 bills. So basically, a local shop owner in San Jose said, here in downtown San Jose, a lot of crazy people hang around all the time. So it's better to have a guard. So we have armed guards protecting convenience store food shipments. Not saying this is like, Gaza where Hamas is stealing the UN food deliveries, but we got armed guards in an American city, a million plus people in San Jose, I think, living over there, having to guard their food against people stealing it. Pretty much third world nation, right? That's what we've come down to, and that's what's going on, at least in California. And then I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but the United States is going to pay Moderna $176 million to develop another mRNA magic potion. And I'm sure they'll get Pfizer money here pretty soon. But it says the Moderna will get this money to accelerate the development of a pandemic magic potion, we'll call it, to treat bird flu in people as concern grows about the pandemic spreading from cows and birds to humans. It says Moderna already has a bird flu vaccine in early stage testing that uses the same mRNA technology that allowed rapid development and rollout of the vaccine to protect against COVID-19. So I know you're all excited about that. What do they say? Fool me once, shame on me, or shame on you. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So let's see what people do this time around. And then we're going to leave the United States. Let's go over here to Lebanon. We got farmers dig for answers on Israel's white phosphorus use. So I don't want to talk about did Israel use white phosphorus, and this guy is here, he's worried about the white phosphorus polluting his farmland. He says, I want to know what I'm feeding my son. What am I feeding my wife? What am I eating? So he sent some samples in and all that. So I don't want to talk about did or did not Israel use this, but attacks on the food system during the war is very much a thing. Remember that old quote, army marches on his stomach. You got to feed the army. Well, if you take away the food, you poison the food, you cripple the ability for an army or people to fight. You also control the people. Was it Kissinger who said, control the food, control the people? So this will be a thing. And if it's domestic, whether it be civil war, civil unrest, there will be attacks against the food. There has been attacks food here, but as far as poison, all that might get that far. You just got to be vigilant. We'll get to the point here one day where there's one side poisoning the food of another, or killing the cattle and the crops, or burning the crops of another side. Is you're on your property, if you have property, is your well protected? Is it locked up? Can someone get to your wellhead, open up and pour something down there? Can they pollute your water, your streams? Can they do something to your livestock to give them disease? Can they kill your crops? Can they spray herbicides all over them? Who knows? But it will happen. People will do it, so you got to be aware of it. And that's what I want to talk about here is be aware of this stuff happening. Like I said, you take away the food source for a population, not only do they go crazy, but they can't fight, and you will control them, especially if you're the one bringing them the good food supply. They're going to look for you. So keep that in mind. What else do we have here? Oh yeah, new satellite images reveal Chinese spy sites in Cuba. So, if you want to look here, they go through and say there's antennas here in warehouses, whatever. Then over here we got a big foundation for a giant spy listening device. I just want to point this out because this is China developing this. We just had Russia go to Cuba with a nuclear sub, some other naval vessels. So yeah, China, Russia, both going to Cuba to set up things. Is that going to be where they launch something from? Who knows? Definitely it's close to the United States. Why wouldn't they put listening posts, satellites, weapon systems there? All that stuff. So they're very much working together, as we know, Putin and Xi. And looks like they're teaming up to boost up Cuba for either attacks against the United States, just espionage, black swan events. Who knows? Cuba's going to be a spot. So if you're near Florida or the Gulf Coast, keep your eye on the island to your south there. Moving on from that, we have the last thing I want to talk about really quickly here. We got North Korea switches to Russian satellites for broadcasting their TV. Now, a lot of people are out there saying, oh, Putin went over, met with Xi, and this came out about it. So now they're moving away from China to Russia. like I said, Russia and China are partners, and they're partners with, allies, or whatever you want to call them, with North Korea. And this isn't you're going to see people say, oh, this is because they're moving away from China. They're moving towards Russia, and China and North Korea are at odds. No. This is because what it says down here below. The move has made monitoring the broadcast more challenging for South Korean media and state agencies. So, for some reason, when they switched over to the Russian satellites, South Korea can't monitor what North Korea's putting out on their broadcast, which obviously, to me, is the main reason they did this. Get away from the Chinese stuff, go to the Russian stuff where, you can hide to your population what you're talking, what you're doing. It's all part of that propaganda campaign. You got the poop balloons going back and forth. You've got propaganda, speakers, whatever. Just another step. And, when you made the buddy with Russia and they say, hey, you can use our satellites, and, the South Korea and the West, they won't be able to see what you're broadcasting as much, gleam off what you're saying in your news as much. So why not do it? So I think that's what's happening there. Just, more of the alliance building on that side. And that's all I have for right now. Get out there, enjoy your 4th of July, enjoy your freedoms, talk about it with your kids, what freedoms you have and how important it is when they see that American flag coming by, they see those fireworks in the sky. And remind yourself about what it means and maybe some of the freedoms we have lost and some of the things we need to gain back. So it's a good time to think about all that. Good time to also think about what I need to do to finish my preps. Because as I talk to you almost, a couple times a week, you don't get too many good stories. It's just more about how we're careening down into that flaming ball of fire around the earth, basically. So that's all I have. Once again, happy 4th of July to everybody out there. And I will see you on the other side of the holiday. And until next time, keep your ear to the ground, head on a swivel.